Okay, you're inevitably going to have something go wrong when you print. There's a number of printing errors that can happen. The most common one is when people just don't put enough pressure on the press. Eventually the ink just builds up on the bottom of the press, on the bottom of the screen print, and it starts doing what we call gwishing. And gwishing is where you're supposed to have a clean line, but then something kind of like smushes out and it kind of gwishes out all over the piece of paper. And you'll know it when you see it. Another thing that will happen is lines will fill in and they won't print when they're supposed to. And so you're trying to get them to print, but they just won't print. So if you have a gwish, the best thing that you can do is just, that's why we keep all this extra newsprint around. If you have a gwish, the best thing that you can do is just keep your newsprint close and just do what I call clearing the screen. So you just want to take a whole bunch of newsprint and without recharging the screen, so without flooding it, we're just going to print a bunch of these. So you notice I didn't flood it back. I'm just trying to clear as much of the ink out of there as I can. And that's why we keep a whole bunch of practice pieces of newsprint around with other people's stuff printed all over them just to help us keep this stuff together. You want to make sure you turn that. So once I get my screen clear and I know it's printing right, then you can go ahead and just resume printing with your good pieces of paper, and you don't have to worry about the crummy, you know, you're just doing all this stuff on this cruddy paper that you're kind of practicing on here, right? So, try one more here. Okay, so we're back to good now, and again, if you continually have problems with wishing, it's probably a sign that you're not getting enough pressure and you're not pulling the squeegee at the right angle. So it could help sometimes to get a partner. So if you want to get somebody next to you, if you just don't have the arm strength to push down really hard, have somebody else help you push. But you want it to stay tight all the way through your stroke. There's also the smaller press, which is down a little bit lower. That's a lot easier kind of leaning on your prints to pull them off. So once we get that done, so that's a gwish. If you're having problems with lines filling in and the screen is drying out, what I always recommend people do is just to take the spray bottle and just sort of, just want to spritz it. Just spritz the top of your screen and just try to get it moist again, like try to get it wet. Flood it back and forth a couple of times. Sometimes what you have to do if it's really a problem is you just have to get a wet rag and wipe down the bottom of the screen. But if you do that, you just want to make sure you know that it's going to cause a mess. So I'll do a little of that here where I try and clear an area out. So if I do that, you just have to know that'll clear it so that I can print it. But the next time I go to print, it's going to leave kind of a smeared mess underneath the bottom of that screen. So I'll show you how that looks like. So you'll get this smeary mess that you can see down here at the bottom of that, and it's you just have to print it a number of times now until it clears. So you want to keep running newsprint or practice proofs through this thing until that smeary stuff goes away. And it might take 5 or 6 prints on newsprint before you get it clear. But you can see the second one's already better than that first one was. So slowly print these and clear it. That's a gwish or filling in. Those are the two most common problems you'll have when you screen print. So try not to let it happen, but if it does, don't panic. Stay calm. You can fix it.